If you're a regular visitor, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Lee Johnson, and I talk about magic and witchcraft and demonolatry and all sorts of topics like that. And if you would like to join, there's a join button. It's just a small monthly subscription. It gives you some perks, helps to build this channel, and it would be much appreciated if you did. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit the little bell so you know when new videos come out. And please like, share, comment, all the usual stuff people do on YouTube. Today I just want to talk about cord cutting because I think that it gets a bit misunderstood and misused actually. When we talk about cords between two people, it's an energetic bond. And we can cut that cord in order to remove that energetic bond. Now, when I talk about the energy bond, there's in Toltec warrior practice, they speak a lot about the energy filaments that get connected to people, places, and things like that. And there's power that passes between two people, and that power goes both ways. So you attach filament or energetic filaments to a person, and they attach energetic filaments to you. And this also creates memory. And the whole purpose in Toltec Warrior Path for recapitulation is to pull that power back. So you're not giving your power to someone, and you're not taking power from them. So you take your energy filaments back and you give their energy filaments back to them. So you take your power back and you stop this process of passing power back and forth. This builds power in you, over a period of time, and the more work you do on recapitulation, not doing, and all of those techniques that they use within the Toltec Warrior Path. So that builds power, creates more energy, etc., etc. But it's very similar when we talk about cords, as in cord cutting. So you have energetically connected to someone, and they have energetically connected to you. So when you are doing a cord cutting, you are severing that cord, which means that you're pulling your power back and giving your power back, or power to that person. The problem I find is that too many people just think that, they've broken up with somebody and that's it, just cut the cord, get rid of them. It's not quite that simple. It doesn't really work that way. And especially if you live with the person or you interact with that person on a daily basis. If you see them on a daily basis, all that's going to happen is you're going to do this ritual to cut the cord, and then as soon as they contact you or you see them or whatever it may be, the cord just reattaches. So if you are going to do a cord cutting, I would suggest it is with somebody who causes you a lot of pain and grief. Somebody who is abusive. Somebody who you really, really do need to remove from your life completely and utterly. There's no, ifs or maybes here. They have to be removed completely out of your life. So if you have broken up with a boyfriend or girlfriend and you are hurt, as everybody is when they have a breakup, it's painful, it's going to hurt, that's natural. But you don't just immediately go and go, oh, just cut the cord, get rid of them, because the next day you might think, I miss the person, let me see how they are, how they're doing, and maybe I want them back at some stage. Then you're going to contact them, the cord's going to reattach, so you've just wasted your time basically. So when you're doing cord cutting, it's for a toxic person, a person who has been in your life and you've been in a toxic relationship, and you really do need to get rid of that person. You need to remove them completely. After doing a cord cutting, that's it. You do not contact them again. You do not see them. You try not to think of them. You're going to obviously think of them. and in some cases that can actually reattach the cord. But you can continually do work in order to just pull that cord back again. But you can't just cut a cord and then the next day contact the person. That's not how it works. It's not going to work. You're just going to be wasting your time, wasting your energy, and not getting the results that you actually want in the first place. So I don't want to talk about how to cut cords. There's plenty online about how to cut cords. I actually was rewatching The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, because we're going to do a review on it on the Black Hat Chat on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. And there was that method in there, which was quite cute, where she takes 2 candles and there's one wick that is attached to both, and she lights the wick, and as it cuts, the cord's broken. You know, it's a cute method, but the type of methods I prefer for cord cutting would be something where you're actually cutting, where you're actually slicing. You know, you can use sympathetic magic in that regard. You can take 2 candles, you can tie a string between them, burn the candles. As the candles get to the string, it starts burning the string breaks, cord cutting. But the method I prefer, and there's actually mentioned in Dion Fortune's book, Psychic Self-Defense. The method in there is that you get into a trance state and you astrally cut the cord. So what you do is you take a huge big sword in your hand and you locate the cord that is attached between you and that specific person. Remember that there are lots of cords. Every single person you've met throughout your life you're attached to energetically. So you have to properly locate that specific cord between you and that person. You take this big sword and you slice through. It's just a method I've always enjoyed, always liked. Works fantastically. Now there are some methods you can use if after cutting the cord there's no way of not avoiding the person. So after you've cut the cord, just put up like a shield. It can be a ball of white energy around you, and that is programmed specifically not to allow a new connection with that person. There are cases where you can't, it's just unavoidable. You know, after cutting a cord with somebody who's been in your life and has been toxic, they may work in the same building as you. They may travel on the same transport, on the same bus or the same train as you. So in some cases it is unavoidable. You cut the cord and there's no way you can actually stop seeing the person or, you know, running into them. So you can try that, is cut the cord and then put up a barrier, and that barrier specifically programmed with the intent of not letting that attachment happen again. So any time energy starts coming towards you from that person, it kind of hits the barrier and bounces off. It doesn't get to you, and all other attachments can come in and out. There's also a method that I spoke of, which I call the black water. Put it in a previous video. I'll link to it above, so you can actually check that out. That one's actually quite severe. So the idea behind that is that you basically wash yourself from head to toe, and with this black water that you create, it's a Kabbalistic method. And through this process of washing yourself from head to toe with this water, you sever every single connection that you have. So you kind of start with a new slate. Once all of those links, energetic links, have been severed, removed, all that negative energy is gone, everything's just clean, you're just completely clean. Then what you can do is start reattaching yourself to the people that you want in your life. It's quite a good method because you don't have to kind of think about do I need this person in my life? Maybe, maybe not, not sure. You just basically get rid of all of it and then start building the relationships again. So, you know, you'll finish the ritual, you'll walk out of your room, altar room, bedroom, whatever, bathroom, wherever you're doing it, and you will encounter your husband or your wife, and that connection will immediately reconnect. Your children immediately reconnect. And then what you'll probably find is that some people will message you and say they got this sort of strange feeling, they needed to check if you were okay. Or they may say they miss you. Or they suddenly got this empty feeling and they needed to just chat. Those connections, you then decide. Do you want to continue with that connection or do you not want to? If you don't, ignore it. Don't reply to them, remove them from your life. If you do want to continue that connection, then start up a conversation. And the energy will then reconnect. So that's a good method. One I actually prefer using. But there's lots of methods you can check on the internet. There's traditional witchcraft methods. You use an actual cord with knots and such. There's so many, but a lot of it is that sympathetic magic. It represents, you know, what you do in the ritual represents the actual act that you're doing. I mean, you could do it in such a method that you actually tie a cord around you and let it attach to an effigy, for instance, and then actually physically cut the cable, cut the cord, and that's then a thick cord. It's not like a piece of string. This is a thick cord. So as I say, lots of methods, but the main reason I wanted to make this video was to just make you aware of what it actually means to cut a cord. You know, it's not just a willy-nilly, don't like that person anymore, get them out of my life. We're just going to cut the cord. It doesn't really work that way. So if you are going to cut cords with somebody, make sure, absolutely sure, that it's somebody you want to completely remove from your life. If you don't, if you're not sure, work on the relationship. You know, if you've broken up with somebody, you can change that relationship, develop it into something different, something else. You could become friends, you could become acquaintances, but there might be something about them which you still need in your life, and that could be something that can help you heal in the future. It could be something that makes you aware of your own, you know, aspects within yourself that you need to work on. So even if things get bad, even if things get upsetting and painful, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't actually still use that relationship to actually teach you something, or, you know, use it to develop something within yourself. So, you know, I just find a lot of people are just using magic to, you know, they're not really being responsible with the magic. They're not thinking it through. If you're going to do any form of magic, you need to think about the outcome, about the circumstances, about if you do X, Y, and Z, will it actually bring you the results you want, or is it just your immediate knee-jerk reaction that's actually making you do it? If it's a knee-jerk reaction, stop. Come back, examine the situation, examine what's going on. Can you go about it another way? Can you use the situation to help yourself in something you just didn't even think about in the first place? You know, people are cutting cords, they're doing magic left, right and centre, they're cursing people. There's lots of different ways you can go about all of these things. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that knee-jerk reaction. Sometimes you have the knee-jerk reaction, you step back and you think, okay, let me examine the situation, and you find that you know, that knee-jerk reaction you originally had is the one you should actually be using. But definitely not in all cases. So if you are in a situation where you feel you have been hurt and you are in pain and you just want to get rid of this person in your life, just stop, take some time, think about it, and see if you can't use that situation to actually help you. in some way. And that's it really. I really just wanted to make people aware of what it actually means to cut cords. And if you are going to be around at 4 p.m. GMT on Friday, please join us in the Blackout Chat. Rev Kai and I talk about different topics regarding magic and witchcraft, usually about traditional witchcraft itself. So come and check us out on Friday. You can jump onto the live chat and say hello, give us a comment, ask a question, whatever you feel. And this weekend, the second of class 2 of the Demonology course on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee is going to be released and go live. So if you are interested in that, then hop on to Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. Links are in the description below, and just sign up for the course. Rev Kai is also doing a tarot and cartomancy course if you'd prefer that one. So check us out on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. And I hope you have a fantastic week. I'll see you on Friday, or I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a good one. Cheers.